So guys, the next thing we're going to look at is the cumulative frequency curve. All right, so another name for the cumulative frequency curve is the ogive or ogive. And it looks like this diagram here on the left. That's what a cumulative frequency curve looks like. All right, so the first thing you should observe is, or you should note, are what are the values which are used to draw the cumulative frequency curve. All right, so for the cumulative frequency curve, on the horizontal axis, you need your upper class boundary. And on the vertical axis, you need the cumulative frequency. Now, cumulative frequency is a term that we came across already when we did on-group data, but we're going to look at it again. So on the horizontal axis, we have the upper class boundary, and on the vertical axis, we have the cumulative frequency. Now, the cumulative frequency is the diagram we use when we want to calculate the mean. When we're doing group data and we want to calculate the mean, the cumulative frequency curve is the diagram we use. Sorry, not the mean, the median. So when we're doing group data and we want to determine the median, the cumulative frequency curve is the diagram we use in order to determine that. All right, so at the very top of our cumulative frequency curve, or at the very top of our cumulative frequency curve is at n. So that's n, at the very top of our cumulative frequency curve. Now, at 3/4 of n, if you go across, wait until it hit the curve, and then come down, this value here would be Q3. Now, Q3 is the upper quartile. Again, a term we came across when we did raw data. At half of n, we go across horizontally till it hit the curve and then come down. We get Q2, and Q2, guys, is the median. So if you are doing group data and you're asked for the median is the value of the it's the value that is halfway of the cumulative frequency, or the value that is associated with half of the cumulative frequency is the median. I probably didn't say that right. At a quarter n, you go across, hit the curve, come down. This is Q1, which is the lower quartile. Again, a term we came across when we did raw data. All right, guys, here's an example. Example 8 says the table below shows the frequency distribution of the marks obtained by 80 students on a test. So as I normally said to you, n when we start is equal to the sum of the frequency. If I add this, I should get 80. My table is showing the marks of 80 students on a test. A is asking us to complete the cumulative frequency table to represent the data. Now, cumulative frequency means you're going to add the frequency as you go down. At the first level, the frequency is 2, then 2 plus 5. At the second level, it's 7, then 7 plus 10. This is 17, then 17 plus 16. I think this is 33. 33 plus 21 is 54. 54 plus 13 is 67. 67 plus 9. All right, I probably did something wrong. It is 67. All right, it's okay. I'm adding again. All right, 17. 17 plus 16 is 33. 33 plus 21 is 54. Then 67. Then 70, 76. Good. And now 76 plus 4, it's 80. All right. So cumulative frequency, the cumulative frequency values are 2, 7, 17, 33, 54, 67, 76, 80. You get cumulative frequency when you add the frequencies going down. Next, we are asked to draw using a scale of 2 centimeters to represent 5 marks on the horizontal axis and 1 centimeter to represent 5 students on the vertical axis. We're to draw the cumulative frequency curve for the data. So we're going to draw the cumulative frequency curve. And now we're going to need the upper class boundary. The upper class boundary. Everybody should remember to get the upper class boundary, you're going to add 0.5 to the upper limit. So this is 5.5, 10.5, 15.5, 20.5, 25.5, 30.5, 35.5, and 40.5. Those are the upper class boundary. We're going to plot the upper class boundary against the cumulative frequency. These are the points we're going to plot. 5.52, 10.57, 15.5, 17, 20.5, 33, 25.5, 54, 30.5, 67, 35.5, 76, 40.5, 80. These are the points we're going to plot. On the left, we have the upper class boundary. On the right, we have the cumulative frequency. All right, so these are the values that we need. So let us just go and draw our graph. Axes first. So let's see what we have. Next page. 5.5, yeah. So vertical axis. Horizontal axis. The scale is 2 centimeters to 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So down here is going to be the upper class boundary. All right, so essentially these are the marks. Now over here we have the cumulative frequency, and it's 1 centimeter to 5 students, so it's 5. $60. All right, so there's a total of 80 students. Over here, we have the cumulative frequency. All right, and the cumulative frequency here, this is actually students. All right, so we're now ready to plot our points. The first point is what? 5.5 what? 2? All right, just quick reminders. 2, 7, 17, 33. 2, 7, 17, 33. So 5.5, 5.5, 2. So 5.5 comes immediately after 5. When the scale is 2 centimeter to 5 unit, every 2 millimeter division represent 0.5 of a unit. So 5.5 comes immediately after 5, and then 1, 2. That's 5.52. Then 10.57, 10.5 comes immediately after 10, 5, 6, 7. That would put me here. Then 15.5, 17. 15.5, 15, 16, 17. That's here. 20.5, 33. 20.5 is immediately after 20. This is 30. 1, 2, 3. That will put me here. All right. Let's go. We have what? Ugh, wrong direction. 54, 67, 76. 54, 57, 67, 76. 54, 67, 76, 80. So the next point is 25.5, 54. 25.5 is immediately after 25. This is 50, 1, 2, 3, 4. That will put me here. Then 30.5 corresponds to 67. 30.5 is immediately after 30, all the way up to 65, 66, 67. That puts me there. Then 35.5 is 76. This is 35.5, 75, 76. And lastly, 40.5 corresponds to 80. That will put me here. All right, so these are all my points. So next I need to draw my cumulative frequency curve. Just a reminder, it's a cumulative frequency curve. And whenever you're drawing graph, your curves you draw with freehand. You put the pencil point where you want to start, and you draw through as many of the points as possible with every movement of your hand. What else? Try not to look don't follow the pencil point with your eye. Just look where you want the pencil point to go, and then take your hand to that point. All right, so let's try and draw this. Almost got it. And you sort of like draw it down to your 0 line. All right. I really don't feel like drawing this over, so let's work with this. This, guys, is a cumulative frequency curve. Cumulative frequency curve. Requires practice, so ensure that you practice. Now, now the curve is actually the things you're using to draw the curve is marks and student. There are 80 students, and you'll notice that the cumulative frequency goes up to 80. And the reason for that is because every point on this graph represents a student and his mark. Every point on this graph represents a student and his mark. All right, so let's go. Ready? So let's use now the graph to answer questions. It says from the cumulative frequency curve, determine the number of students who score at least 80 marks on the test. So if you want to determine the number of students who score at least 80 marks, first you have to find, at least what? How much marks? 18? The number of students who score at least 18 marks on the test. So let us look and see who scored 18 marks on the test. All right, shouldn't be too difficult to find. Want to look and see who scored 18 marks on the test. So down here, let's find 18. This is 15. Oh. I'm going to change this to 18.5. I know exactly why I said it. Yeah, I know exactly why I said it, because I'm doing it for a particular reason. So I want the students, the number of students who score at least 18.5 on the test. So 18.5 marks on the test. So let's go back to our diagram now. Let's find 18.5. This is 15, 15, 15.5, 16, 16.5, 17, 17.5, 18. And in the middle here, this would be 18.5. You draw it all the way up until it hit the curve. Once it hit the curve, you draw a horizontal line. All right, this was definitely not necessary. So, because it wasn't necessary, I'm going to change it back. Oh, I know what it is. It's not 18.5, it should be 16.5. What an error. All right, guys. I'm changing something again. It should be somebody who scored at least 16.5 on the test. It's not 18.5, it's 16.5. The number of students who score at least 16.5 on the test. And as I said, I'm doing it for a specific reason. All right, so I'm going back down. Let's find 16.5, 16, 16, sorry, 15, 15.5, 16, 16.5. So we'll go up at 16.5. And we go up until it hit the curve. Once it hit the curve, then I'm drawing a horizontal line across. Draw a horizontal line across. All right. And I'll tell you what this tells me now. This tells me that the 28 students score 16.5 on the test. But I'm not interested in the person who scored 16.5. What I want is how many students scored more, at least 16.5. So at least 16.5 means 16.5 or more. So I want the number of students with marks greater than or equal to 16.5. All right. So let's go back to our diagram and explain how we're going to get this. Now, guys, remember, every point on this graph represents a student on his mark and his mark. What this is telling me so far is that the 28th student, he scored 16.5 on the test. Guys, everybody below him scored less than 16.5. And everybody above him scored more than 16.5. Now, since I want those who score at least 16.5, I need everybody above the, sorry, because I said at least 16.5, which means 16.5 or more. I need everybody that is above, I need the 20th student and everybody that is above him. So to answer that question, it's going to be, this is equal to 80 minus 20, and this would be 60 students. Now, guys, 60 students in the class scored 16.5 marks or more than 16.5 on the test. Next, we need to determine the median. Remember, I told you the median would be the marks of the student in the middle. Now, the student in the middle would be student number 40. So at 40, I'm going to come across and where it hit the curve, I'm going to go down. This value here, whatever it is, this value here is the median. So the median is Q2. This is, let's read it, 20, 20.5, 21, 21.5, 22. So this is telling me that the median mark, Q2, is equal to 22 marks. Guys, in group data, the median would be the value for the person in the middle. The guy in the middle is guy number 40. You come across, it hit the curve or you go down, I get 22 marks. The median is 22. Next, that's it. Seriously? All right. I was thinking that more was coming. Apparently that's it.